you guys doing? It's Seb here. Welcome back to another episode of PES 2016 tutorials. Now in this episode I'm going to walk you through a guide through all the formation that actually exist in PES 2016. Now as far as I'm concerned, there's only about 12 formation. And to be honest, throughout the year and my experience in my club, etc., there is only a set of formation that everybody will use. But don't worry about that. In the future, I have another series we'll be starting, which I'll be calling it Formation Domination. For example, what formation is most likely to beat 4-3-3? What formation is most likely to beat 3-5-2? And other way around. So that's another series. But in this episode, I'm just going to walk you through all the formation that exists in PES 2016, and each formation has a style of play. I'm not going to make this complicated. Obviously, whatever formation you use, it depends on the team you're using. It depends on the tactic. It depends on how good you are. So I'm not going to make this complicated. I'm just going to guide you through all the formations that are available on PES 2016, and each formation has its own specific style, whether you want to attack down the flank, whether you're a crosser, whether you're not good at defending, whether you want to be offensive, whether you want to attack down the middle, on the flank. So there's a lot of things. I don't want to go through all of them. I want to make this video short and punchy. Oh, the sunlight coming in. We're in Scotland and we have a sunlight. Okay, so yeah guys, let's start with the first formation. So the first formation is 4-5-1, which is the classic 4-2-3-1, because you have two defensive midfielders, attacking midfielder, and your left to right winger. This is basically a flexible formation when numbers in midfield allow team to play position football or attack from out wide. So I would say if you like to play a crossing game and hold position in the midfield, you can go with this formation. Our second formation is the abusive 4-1-3-3, 4-1-2-3. This is a formation was abused on my club with Carlo Ancelotti. We're not going to see him this year. So this is the most offensive formation you can ever play, because you have a lone defensive midfielder, two attacking midfielders. So when you attack, you have 5 players up front. But again, that depends on your defensive tactics and your offensive tactics and what team you use. As I said, I'm not going to make it complicated. In general, this is one of the most offensive formation. It's an attack-minded formation, but kind of sacrifice strength in midfield, so it could be quite countered in the midfield. If you play this formation, you have to make every attack count, because if your attack fails, you have one DMF in the midfield and you're going to be exposed to get encountered on the flank. That was a double nose scratch. Go scratch your nose. Okay, so let's move on with the third formation, which is the 4-4-2. So when it comes to the 4-2-2, guys, it's a very versatile formation. It's a very balanced, versatile formation. Anybody can use this formation if they started playing PES or FIFA. You know, it's just like the most balanced formation. It covers wide areas, it covers narrow areas. Whether you attack and defend, you have option to go down the middle with 2 strikers. You know, start your attack wide and then go narrow up front. And defensively, you can change those 2 center midfielders into DMFs, or change one of them to DMF. But in general, for example, if you're using fluid formation, when you have possession of the ball, you can make those 2 center midfielders, obviously leave them as center midfielders. And when you are out of position, you can change those 2 center midfielders into DMFs. This is just an idea I'm throwing out there. Okay, let's go to our fourth formation, which is 4-5-1. This is a different version, which is 4-1-4-1. As you can see, 2 attacking midfielders, and we have wingers and a single defensive midfielder. The 4-1-4-1 is a formation with many attack-minded players positioned high in the midfield. Obviously, as we can see, so the 4-5-1 or the 4-1-4-1 is a very attack-minded formation. I mean, I would not suggest using that at all. Maybe if you change your 2 attack midfielders into center midfielders, but something like that in PES, this is not like FIFA. One single DMF is a no-no. In my experience, over thousands matches played on my club and online, when it comes to PES, you always need your DMF and you need your center midfielder, because in PES, if you control the midfield, you win the game. That's the fact. Okay, so this formation is then really nothing much to talk about it, to be honest. All you need is basically, you need kind of require a bit of a high caliber players to be positioned at the anchor to make up for the defensive deficiencies. So that's what it says. You need a solid defensive midfielder. That's pretty obvious, I think. If you play with any formation that you have one single midfielder as a DMF, it has to be someone solid, fast, strong, and tall. But the chances to get in that. Okay, so our other formation is actually 3-6-1. I've not seen anyone using that. 3-6-1, a form of 3-2-4-1. I think this formation, I mean, I've never really tried it. I did try some different versions of 3-5-2, but this formation has basically this great depth in the midfield, which makes suitable for position football as well as attacking from out wide. So apparently in PES, no matter what form of three at the back you use, always says attacking from out wide. But at the same time, I don't completely agree with that because yeah, you have two wingers, but then 3-5-2, you have two strikers, two striker, a cam behind it. That is screaming attacking down the middle. But however, you can always start your attack on the flanks and then narrow it down. And the only thing is, guys, when you play any form of 3-5-2, you may think you'll be getting abused on the flank. All you have to do is set your containment area to wide. And at the same time, guys, even when you are attacking, just don't attack directly. Pass back and forth. Use 1-2. Use pass and move. There's a lot of probably make a video. I mean, the Midnight Kid's already going to be making a video about the offensive tutorial. I'll probably collaborate with him on that, or we make our own separate things. So this is just a different form of 3-5-2, which I've never seen is being used. The 4-2-2, this is one of the formations that have been used a lot. Even the guy who won PES World Champion, PES 2015 World Finals, actually used this formation. That's why creating a custom formation, choosing the right base of your formation is really important. I mean, the guy we saw it, I don't know if you guys seen it on Twitch, he actually chose this formation and then turned it into 4-3-3. Basically, moved the attacking midfielder into the flank and three formation. Now, he could have chosen any formation to do that, but no, as I said before, it's really important which formation you choose because every formation has a different playing style. That's how the AI make your team move. And of course, you can overwrite it with your own style of play and tactics, but choosing the base of your formation and customize it is really important. This is one of the most used formation, and I hope we have that on my club, but we'll never know. Let's see what happens. When it comes to the 4-3-1-2, it's a formation suited attacking through the middle with a large concentration of players in central midfield. As I said, this is a very, very narrow-minded attacking formation. You don't crossing will barely happen in this. And if you're playing against someone who's playing 4-3-3, you're most likely to survive against them. But I found that the best way to beat 4-3-3 is actually 4-3-2-1 with two attacking midfielders, two center midfielders, and a DMF. Remember that on my club 15. Okay, moving on to our other formation, which is the 3-5-2, 3-2-3-2. This is the classic 3-5-2 with two defensive midfielders. I love that. I love using that on my club. Just depends on the manager, by the way. Now, just to let you guys know, it's gonna be. This is the one of the question that I get asked a lot. What is the best formation for my club? There's no such a thing, guys. My club, your formation and tactic is your manager. And managers are all personal because we all play different. We all have different set of different players. So at the same time, you just gotta think. You know, I'll probably, I don't know why I jump into my club. I will in my future tutorials. I will make a video regarding the best managers to choose, how to choose the best manager according to your team and your own personal style of playing. So that's going to be on the tutorials. And keep in mind, guys, for the first 2 weeks, I will get my tutorials done. And then after that, we're just going to focus on my club series, just going online and play and do ball opening. But for the first 2 weeks, I'll do my tutorials, probably do a couple of ball opening. But just for the first 2 weeks, some of you guys, you don't need these tutorials I'm making. So all I'm saying is, don't worry, my club series will start after these tutorials are done. All right, so the 3-5-2, guys, again, this is a very versatile formation, is a well balanced because you have two defensive midfielders. And again, it says best suited to attacking from out wide. I don't completely agree with that because it depends on how you set up your attack and slider tactics and tactical links in the way you play. But as you can see, there is a lot of triangle. That's why I like this formation. I mean, from Aturba to Pjanic to Gervinho, from Totti, Gervinho to Aturba. So this is very good for actually playing tiki-taka as well up front because these triangles is basically you can form 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like endless triangles. You can do your pass and move and triangle passing and third man through ball. You know, all these stuff. I'll get back to that in other videos. So this is one of my favorite formation. We're gonna move on to our next formation, which is the another form of 4-5-1, which is 4-3-2-1. Now this is a formation that Italy used. This is the only formation that actually spanks the most offensive 4-1-2-3 formation. And I've tried that many times. You may think, oh, tactics matters, etc., etc. If somebody plays 4-1-2-3, you got to use this formation. And I will do this, what I just said here, what formation use against which formation. This is a series I'll be starting, which I will call it Formation Domination. I'll start that into another series. This is basically just tutorials here. I like this formation because it's very, very compact down the middle and is very good against through ball spammers or people who abuses ping pong. So if you're not very, very good at defending, this formation is awesome. You can also move your AMF, two AMFs up front a little bit and turn them into SS so they can join attack more. But if you leave it like this, your two attacking midfielders will give support as well. Mind you, there's a lot of factors. It depends what kind of AMF you're using. A player like Mario Götze will never come back. But if you use Vidal as AMF, he will come back. And this is just an example. So a formation geared towards counter-attacking football with plenty of depth and center midfield. Quality in the attacking midfield slot are essential. As I said, as I just said, you can turn these attacking midfielders into SS because you don't want to be too defensive. It's not about how good you defend. I believe the best defense is offense. So as it says there, this is one of the best formation for counter-attacks. So if you love counter-attacks, this is one of my favorite formations as well. Moving on to our next formation, which is going to be the 3-4-3. Now, the second guy who came second in the World Finals actually used this formation in PES 15, but he kind of customized it. He basically turned it into 3-3-4 or something like that. Again, it says here a formation where players position a versatile, very well-balanced formation, which is suited to attacking from out wide. Nothing else. That's what it says. And I think it's pretty obvious. I know the Midnight Kid on my club used this formation, which is I think it was Pep Guardiola. It's basically attacking down the flank, and this could be useful for PES 2016 because attacking on the flanks and aerial ball and crossing creates a lot of chances. There's actually an outcome when you attack on the flanks on PES 16. So I think any form of 3-5-2 is going to be really, really effective this year. But we'll see what's going to happen till we actually play the game. Our next formation is one of my favorite formation. Is the 4-3-3. A form of 4-3-3 which is customed as 4-2-1-3. The reason why I like this formation, I remember I was finding a hard time on my club. There was actually managers who had this formation, but then tactically they were defensive because formation-wise, this formation is defensive. And what I want is I want an offensive tactic for it. If your formation is defensive and your tactic is defensive, there's going to be no outcome. The whole game is going to stuck in the midfield. But again, we all play different. So the 4-2-1-3 is actually a formation with a greater focus on the defense rather than the 4-1-2-3. Requires high caliber offensive midfielders for it to work. Obviously, yeah, I mean, if you have two defensive midfielders, I would suggest having an anchor man and a destroyer. For example, if you were using Barcelona, you need Sergio Busquets and maybe Mascherano there. It will work out great. But I wouldn't use a player box-to-box as a DMF. Some people do because there's player cards. A box-to-box can only play center midfielder or a left and right midfielder or an attacking midfielder. If you use them as a DMF, the card will not be active. But this may be changing in a full game. Every year they change that. We'll get to player cards as well. I'll have a lot of tutorials regarding player positions, player card, and playing style, etc., etc. I think I've already made a video about playing style as well. You may want to check that out. Moving on to the other formation, which is our last two formations is the 5-4-1 is basically a custom formed of 5-2-2-1. Now, as you can see, I use this formation and I call it a lockdown because if you look at it, guys, I mean, you can see you have two defensive midfielders, you have two and a striker and five at the position. But in general, this formation is good if you are winning by 2 goals. It's minute 80. You want to switch to this. And all you have to do, the way to play with this formation is that you absorb pressure, intercept, and counter. Just a classic counter. There's no any other way around it. Our last formation here, I think Netherlands uses this formation as 5-3-2, but it's custom to 5-2-1-2. This is a weird formation, guys. I mean, I know some people actually use this with Netherlands, even Real Madrid. And what they do, you can see these triangles between Pjanic, Nainggolan, Iturbe, and Gervinho and Totti. There's like 2 to 3 triangles. And what people do using this formation is very predictable. I mean, if I see someone using this formation against me, I will set my compactors to maybe 8 or even 10. And they won't be able to do anything. You just got to be careful with through balls. So this formation is very, very, very predictable. I would not suggest using this one unless you change your fullback into left and right midfielders, which is just going to form an exact classic version of 3-5-2. I would say this is just the defensive version of the 3-5-2 that we had before with the left to right midfielders. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like button, share and subscribe, and check out my other videos. This was just a quick guide walking you through all the formations that are available in PES 2016. In my future videos, I will obviously start my tutorials with my club managers, best formation, you know, ball opening, etc, etc. So I will be when the first week that on 18th when PES is out, I'll probably do my first video of my club, you know, open my agents, etc, etc. And then after that, I'll kick off with the tutorials. Probably for the first week, I'll get all the tutorials done, and then after that, we're gonna kick off with the My Club series, online division series. You know, I have collaboration with Lily with the Midnight Kids live streaming. So we're gonna kick off with PES, and I'd like to thank all my subscribers for the support. Greatly appreciate it, guys. So if you haven't subscribed, if you like this type of content, check out my other videos, and if you like what you see, make sure to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. I've been Sep. Until next time, ciao for now.